Get Coach Jake back with part 2 of DoorDash tips and tricks. If you haven't seen the first video, make sure to hit pause right now, go back and check out that first video so that way you can see what I'm talking about once we get into this stuff. If you're thinking about signing up for DoorDash, in the description below is my referral link. Go ahead and sign up as soon as possible and send me an email, getcoachjake@gmail.com. You'll be able to hop in one of my Discord channels and I'll be able to help you out all through the process. If you've already used my referral link and signed up recently, make sure to get a hold of me as well. That way I can get you in that channel and you don't miss any information. So let's jump right into this. First thing I want to talk about is scheduling in Dash Now in a little bit more in-depth detail. I've got a lot of texts and messages and even comments on that video that it's gray very often. So DoorDash has done a lot of things to make it tougher for us, not only to jump on and off, you know, in the Dash Now, they're trying to push for us to schedule just like Grubhub has it set up. So thanks Grubhub for setting that example. Anyhow, so it's a lot harder to Dash Now. They're making it so that most people are having to schedule. It isn't the case though. You're able to jump on when you can. So I'll talk about that in more in depth here in just a second. Scheduling is a pain in the butt. You're kind of locked into it. Where this becomes a real issue is the promo time. So when they're running the extra dollar per promos and we want to pause and end, right? We used to be able to pause and jump right back on, pause and jump right back on. It was always pink. It would stay pink for a long time. Now it's actually in the gray more than it is in the pink. If you want to log on at a certain time and it is gray, keep checking. I always check. It won't even be able to schedule. So the second thing you want to do after you check and it's gray, see if you could schedule. If you could schedule within like 30 minutes, the next time frame, you can jump on 15 minutes earlier than that. So say, for example, it's 3:52 right now and there's a 4 to 4:30 or 4 to whatever. I can go ahead and pick that up and start dashing right away. It's within the 15-minute window before that time. So, very important. You aren't restricted to just that time. If you are scheduled for a dash, you can jump on 15 minutes early. Know that. So if you're set up for 4 o'clock, you could already be dashing, already making money. So for those that do schedule, know that. Don't get frustrated. Again, another reason why I stress, don't have all your eggs in one basket, right? So if it's all grayed out and you can't get it on at all, and some days I have that situation here. I had it several days this week in the Valley, probably because they're running this huge promo, right? Anyhow, they're making it harder, and for those that are signed up in some of these promos in these areas, don't get discouraged. Just keep checking. Get on a spot where there's a borderline. If you live in an area like I'm right in the border of 2 different spots, so I can jump on either one of them. I can drive actually like 4 blocks to go jump on a totally different one. So if you're in an area where you're in multiple borders, that's a beautiful situation. Because then you can go wherever it's at. And I'll talk a little bit more about why that's a great situation too. Next thing, extra dollar per delivery promo. So tying back into that and how it's gotten pretty tough. They made it in some regions where you had to get at least 2 done. And they realized that didn't really stop a lot of drivers. They could still do 2 deliveries, pause and end, and they weren't getting as many deliveries done as they wanted to. They weren't getting the result that they wanted out of that promo. So what they've done is, again, they've made it harder to just go ahead and dash now and hop on and hop off, hop on. I still do it. There's something else I do that I'll talk about here in a little bit instead of even worrying about that. So it can be frustrating, right? It can be stressful. They're like, I just want to make some money. But they're sending me this crap that's 10 miles away, 8 miles away, $5. It's just not worth the time. So you really have to weigh it. Is it worth it? I mean, you're getting $1, $2, $3. I mean, if it's $5 and above, yeah, it's probably worth almost every one, because like the minimum, $10, unless you're driving pretty far, right? So I think overall, if they're running a plus $5 per delivery promo, you're doing pretty good. You should be logging on and just running your dash and making some money. I wish I had that situation here in Phoenix. Next, location and hotspots. How important are those hotspots? They're actually pretty effective. They give you an idea of the places that stay busy on a regular. They aren't so effective in the current state because what happens? Everybody else can see that, right? So if everyone can see where that hotspot is, they're going to go sit and park right in that area. I know with Grubhub, further away I am from some of the restaurants and merchants, the better off I am. I get some of those bigger offers. Being closer hurts you. But on DoorDash, say that I want to run a bunch of fast food deliveries. You want to be almost in the parking lot of that place. You want to be close. And why? Because you're going to go and you're going to place the order anyway, so they aren't going to dispatch it to you further from when it was you actually placed. Unlike Grubhub. Grubhub's typically within 5 minutes of the time that it was placed, you're getting the offer. Leads to a lot of wait time for us drivers, which really sucks. Anyhow, so location's super important. You got to think about that. And then now think about places that do have hotspots. You want to start picking up on recurring patterns. Look for patterns in your market. Those are things you could take advantage of the next week, the next month. Keep on going. You can be there before everyone else, before that hotspot hits and everyone attracts. So pay attention to trends and patterns in your market. Those are very important. Those help dictate what I'm going to do on all the apps. What day, it could be season. I know from previous years on rideshare and food delivery exactly how it's going to act. Holidays, all those things. It's a big deal when it goes, into your planning, right? So video 1, we talked about, the first thing I talked about is planning. All these things go into that. Increasing the customer rating. We know that if we don't keep that customer rating up on DoorDash, we're going to get bounced, right? Within 100 deliveries, they're going to rate you. You'll see all your stuff when you're brand new, it's in the gray. When you go and you check your stats, at a certain point, it's going to start being color-coded. Green obviously isn't a good. Yellow, caution. And red is bad. Red is in danger of being deactivated. So, to increase customer ratings, one thing I like to do is send texts. I'll send a text message. Do not send a text message if the food's going to be late. I know it's a great thing to do. Let them know their food's held up. If I had my food, I'd love to. But what it leads to, a lot of people say, oh crap, I don't want to wait longer for my food. They'll cancel the delivery. And guess who loses out? You do. So very important, do not text before you have that food in your hand, you've slid that bar on your screen, and you're ready to boogie, okay? On Grubhub, make sure it's that you have the food, got the food, and leaving. If you haven't hit leaving, you haven't got the money in your pocket yet. So very important. So, what do I like to do? I like to send a text right when I'm leaving the merchant. Like I said, after I've slid that bar, I have in my notes, I go and I do a copy and paste. So I'll copy and paste the text. I have one that lets them know that I'm on my way with the food. And then I also want to ask them to please double check that the address that they put for delivery is the correct address. Because I've had plenty of times where someone had saved in maybe their work address and they're actually at home. Or vice versa. There's a number of situations where address did become a situation. So I asked them, make sure to go and confirm, check that. If you have any special instructions you'd like to give that may have been missed in the notes, please give me those now. That way it can help with fast and quick delivery, and accurate delivery. So that's one thing I'll send. And then after I drop off drop off the food, I send another text to ask them to go back into the app and to close it out and to leave me a kind rating or something like that. We all have our different versions. But anyhow, use your own version, but once you're leaving the restaurant, the merchant, I know they get their own text from DoorDash, but it's something about that personal touch, right? I couldn't tell you how many times I've heard things from customers, and I've seen it actually from drivers increase their rating. Not all the time, but it doesn't hurt. Because what happens? Most good service goes unrated. Good service, it sucks. We miss out on those 5 stars. It's not a very good system that they have. So those texts go a long way, right? You best believe that you give it some bad service, meaning you missed an item. Very important to triple check these orders, right? I know a lot of these places screw up, and it's just because they're in a rush, right? It's human error. We all make mistakes, so you can't be mad at them. That's why we're a line of defense to catching these errors. On DoorDash, because you're going to get rated, if anything's missing, you better go in there and double, triple check and make sure it's all there. If it's something that's sealed up, there's nothing you can do about that, man. You got to bite the bullet. But those are just some ways to help increase the customer rating. Last thing I want to talk about is doing the opposite. And I have an example over here of plus $2, plus $1, or zero. So back to those dollar per delivery promos. If I'm in a bordering area or an area where I can go to two different ones and say that, for example, my market, my area, my region says plus $3 and everywhere else is plus $1, maybe this one over here is zero. Where do you think everyone else is going to go? They're going to drive to where it's plus $3. So that way they can get plus $3 on every delivery. What am I going to do? I'm going to go to those other areas where it's plus $1 and probably not going to worry about it altogether. You're thinking, well, aren't you going to lose out on money? Well, there's only so much demand for that plus $3, right? When enough drivers drive over there, you're just going to be sitting around on your thumb waiting for deliveries, wondering why you're getting no pings. It's too many people, man. So, anyhow, I see there might be a disconnection in the live stream. I hope it's catching up on the recording. I'm sorry for those that it may have froze up. I don't know what's going on. But anyhow, do the opposite. Sometimes you got to do the opposite of everyone else. That's how you're going to make the most money. You don't all want to be sitting around in the same place. If there's not enough demand, there's too many people, you're not going to make any money. I don't care if it's plus $3, plus $20, whatever it is. Perfect example, that Cheesecake Factory madness, right? There was up to 100 drivers in some of those places. They were stuck waiting forever. Anyhow, that was, an anomaly. That's an insane thing where they had given away all that cheesecake, where some drivers made an insane amount of money in a short amount of time, but because they were picking up 5, 6, 7 cheesecake orders in one spot while they waited in that big old line. So, let me check over here. Let's want to see some of these questions I'm missing out on, if anything. Tony's saying run multiple apps. Yes, definitely run multiple apps. Free Jake. Biggest advice, know your market. That's huge. Joe, I can't stress that enough. Knowing your market gives you an idea of what patterns, what places to avoid, where to park, right? Like today I had a delivery, I had to go to downtown Phoenix. Downtown Phoenix can be a mess. There's a lot of things that go into that. So get familiar with your market. If my spot's slow, I'm going to drive. In fact, I've been thinking recently that I might go test out another area. Be careful what you post on social media too, because you got people like me, when someone's posting a bunch of screenshots, all you're doing is giving me information. I see all that information, I'm like, making some good money in a 3-hour period there. You're getting 9 deliveries in 3 hours. That's 3 per hour. I can't average that in my area. I don't know what's going on. Well, I know what it is, because it's college area. But you got to be pretty brave to go drive in a college area, right? I know not everyone on here does DoorDash, but Grubhub. This is Grubhub I'm talking about specifically, where this guy, was posting screenshots. But be careful what you post. And I posted some things out in social media as well. Usually stuff I post out there is kind of strategic. I do it for a reason. But let's see, Joe's talking. Use the customer app for these to see which restaurants are new. Yes, I touched that on in video 1 for DoorDash. That goes for all of them. Grubhub, DoorDash. Go on there. You want to see where everyone's at, all these merchants, if you're in a good area, where the better spots are. You also want to look for quality spots. You want to surround yourself. Think about it. Guess what gets a higher tip? Higher bill. The higher the bill, the higher the potential for the tip. On average, I like to use 10%. 10% is a good rule of thumb. Some people don't tip, right? Some are 20, 25%. So 10% is a good one to use. So if you have a $200 bill, good chance you might make $20 on that. You might make more, might make less. But we're talking about averages here. Let's see what else. Gig Girl, I do that. Definitely helps. There's a number of things we can do to help ourselves be successful on these apps. So, I'm going to check real back. Let's go, right? Let's see what I missed here. Man, I'm seeing that you guys missed a bunch of stuff. The stream was a little bit choppy. Sorry, just trying some different things out. That way I can actually see the chat features on here. Like with this one, I could see all your chats. When I did the preview, the chat box up there, that was flickering. So still playing around with this so I can stream more and give you all the best quality that you can while I'm streaming live. Anyhow, let's see. Tony's asking, people saying the government shutdown is causing some slowdowns in some markets. What's your take on this? Absolutely. Think about it. Those are people that get a regular paycheck over and over and over, and now they're making $0. That hurts. And think how many people work, how many there are in federal jobs. Right? That's a lot of people. So absolutely, that's affecting the slowdown. But I know just in the lunchtime here alone, I had over 60 offers. I'm putting together a video on cherry picking right now, and all the screenshots. It's funny, the content I've collected already for that one is, I think it was like 62 screenshots and a video of some different things. So I got Lunch Rush done with that. My next video coming up for Grubhub, and just in general, is cherry picking, part 2. I'm going to show every offer I get and why I'm less than 10%. Anyhow, let's see what else we got. Gig Girl. New year, new me, diet's probably showing business too right now. Tony, appreciate the knowledge. Yeah, my pleasure, Tony. Joe, I'm working on several referral bonuses now for government workers that aren't working to be food drivers. Boom. Beautiful opportunity. Get these people, get them on. I mean, if they're not making any money, gig work, right? DoorDash is looking for a lot. Take advantage of this. Those that are new, if you sign up through mine, you can go refer people right away as soon as you're active on the platform. Take advantage of that. So, man, they got to make money too. And then Gig Girl, she brought up another point. It's a new year. What happens around New Year's, right? Everyone's doing their meal planning. What's this? I'm in the fitness business. I have been for years. I know all about that. And I know all about how long that lasts, right? It takes 21 days to create a habit. That's what they say through studies. So we're getting close to that 3 weeks. Give it around end of January, and most of those people are going to be falling off of those trends and those habits. Good for them. I'd love to see people making more good food choices. But there's a lot of merchants on here that actually have some good quality food where they're still using that probably more often. So there's some give and take in that. I think some people might be using some of these more to get some of the meals that they're not going to cook themselves. But yes, some people that were using food services before are now they're using meal prep or using meal prep services. So absolutely. A couple things that are affecting slowdown right now. But guess what's coming up? Tax time. Everyone's got kids. They're getting some money. So you best believe it's going to get good here in the next month or so. So hang tight. Let's see. I have a slight problem with that just because it creates more saturation, but I'm not mad at people trying to pay bills. Tony, great point, and I'm glad that you brought that up. So let me touch on that. The reason they do these promos and referrals is because they're using data numbers on all the ones they've done before and how many people really get them done. How many people you think are going to get done with 150 deliveries in DoorDash? That's a lot of deliveries. They have to do 5 a day consistently for 30 days. And it doesn't have to be 30 days straight, but that's 30 days of 5 deliveries. That's 2.5 hours of work. So let's be real here. How many people are really going to get the 150 done? How many people actually even do a single delivery? I can tell you how many times someone's used a referral of mine over the years, whether it be Lyft, food delivery apps, whatever, that never even give a single ride or delivery. That actually is more, I'd say that is probably 1 out of 2. 1 out of 2 people never give a delivery or ride ever. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that, and say that's probably pretty accurate, and maybe even, playing it safe. It's probably even more. So, and then how many are gonna get to the 150, right? So just think about that. And why are they running the promos? There's lack of drivers. You want new drivers going in and you want inexperienced drivers taking those orders that you wouldn't take. So those that are smart are going to cherry pick, right? We're going to let them go. let the inexperienced take those ones that you normally wouldn't. It's going to save you the headache. So, not always a terrible thing, right? There's a positive side to it too. Let's say, let's see, Timothy, DoorDash orientation Monday, will ask if 1,500 for 60 runs still applies. Timothy, as long as you're signed up, you're good. Talk to the person that referred you. They can go on their app and their dashboard and see that if your name's on there. Already the date, the deliveries, they can track your progress. I have a number of people already on there. So, anyone that missed, if you use my referral, if you're going to use it, email me right away. I got a Discord channel. That way we're all talking about it. I'm sharing tips, tricks, and helping everyone successfully complete that. So, yes, if it's someone I'm helping, they got a better chance of completing it. But they're spread out all over the place, man. I wouldn't worry about that too much. And then the people that do it, they're going to hit their 150 and they're going to be gone. They're going to go back to what else they're doing. So, Nathan, I'm 0 for 2, but they didn't pass background. That sucks, man. Sorry to hear that. I'm surprised to hear with DoorDash they didn't pass. Of all companies, right? DoorDash, they didn't pass background. That sucks. Sorry. Keep trying. So somebody actually gave me an idea to send me an email. And thanks to this person, I'm not going to mention the name because I don't know if they want me to. But he's talking about going to like community colleges, universities. Think about if you're in a place where you do have those referrals, go to those spots where they are lacking some people. And man, again, majority of them aren't going to complete it, but it's a way for people to make some money in this tough business, this gig economy. Let's see. So, Tony, I'm in the New York City market and it's dead, but I do this part-time. Good for you. Full-time's tough. It's tough. For a certain period of time, it's good, but to do it for years, do this full-time is tough. There's probably a very small percentage that have done this very successfully over the years, and that's why I'm in the position that we are. Let's see. Joe says, the data that I have accumulated, the bonus is really only work if you find someone that can do full-time food gig delivery. Yeah, back to what I said before. Great point. It's almost someone that needs to do it full-time. I mean, it's to hit that in 60 days. It doesn't seem like much, but they're going to drag their feet. It's going to be about 2 weeks before anybody even gets signed up. So they really have about 6 weeks to get it done. And 5 deliveries a day is about 2.5 hours of work, and they got to do 30 days of that. Not consistent, but 30 overall. Can be done. Easily can be done, but we're talking about those that are frustrated about anyone that's signing up or getting people referred. The odds are majority aren't. So, last couple questions here. One, DoorDash ratings could easily frustrate dashers. Yes, definitely, and that's why I put some tips up on this video. I hope it went through. You might not have seen it in the live stream, but go check it on the rewind. So any of you that missed out on the parts in the middle, go back and check out the rewind a little while. All right, time for me to boogie and get to work. I hope all of you have a great night, day, whenever you watch this video. Be safe out there, and as always, work hard, but work smart, man. Later.